Nope, that's not how it worked. Okay, I need the instant to stay asleep here. YouTube, today we're trying out a brand new team, and this team was created by Bingjie to get top 30 in the last stadium season with Hyper Beam, Xerneas, Imprisoned Zacian, and Torko's son, which we haven't seen in a while. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. Make sure you check out Bingjie and the details of the team available in the description down below, and try it out with the rent code. But I am really excited to try out Xerneas once again. Let's get started and play some games. Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, Zacian, Kyogre, Incineroar, Zapdos. Okay, this is a pretty standard team. It has done really well in some of the recent regional championships, especially the Australian one. All right, what do I want to go here? Xerneas Geomancy looks pretty tough, especially if Imprison on the Zacian. If I can imprison their team, it looks really solid here. Venusaur can be a little bit hard for them to deal with. I think, what do I want to set up lead-wise? It's probably Indeedee here, actually. Indeedee plus Xerneas actually seems really good to set up. Yeah, I do like it a lot. And then in the back, I'm thinking the only problem with Indeedee plus the Xerneas setup is if they lead Zapdos, and they could definitely lead Zapdos against my team, so maybe not actually, because the Zapdos just seems a bit too problematic here for me to lead Xerneas plus Indeedee. Although I don't think they're leading Kyogre in this matchup. Zapdos plus Zacian could be scary though, which I would have to consider here. Maybe it's, I think I could play around that though. I think I have enough tools to deal with it. I'm pretty sure like Xerneas plus Indeedee isn't that bad here. I don't think it is. I think I'd probably max my Indeedee or max my Xerneas, but I think that's okay in this matchup. I think Zacian and I think Torkoal is my last. Is it Torkoal? I think it's Torkoal because Kyogre looks problematic. I kind of want Landorus for Rillaboom, but I don't know if Rillaboom is actually going to be brought against the Sun team, so I don't think it is. I think the combination is going to be Zapdos, Zacian, Kyogre, Incin. That's what I would say that 4 would be. They could bring Grimmsnarl. I could definitely acknowledge Grimmsnarl over one of the slots, specifically Incin. Yet, I don't think they can really afford to bring Rillaboom to help with the Xerneas because I think they need the other tools. As Grimmsnarl plus Zacian is a fantastic lead for me, and I mean fantastic lead for me. Able to go for the Xerneas plus the Indeedee lead, and guess what I'm doing here? Can anyone guess what I'm doing here? Any takers? Any takers at all? Of course, it's going to be the classic follow me Geomancy right here, as that is pretty much the safest play here. I can go for the Geomancy and I can go for follow me. And this is a really, really solid position because even if Zacian, well, I guess this is fine position because I can go for Dazzling Gleam the next turn. If they have sub with the Zacian, that's fine. It doesn't really change anything. If they take the knock on the Indeedee here, it's perfect. I get the free swap into my Zacian, and with the Psychic Terrain, they can't prevent my Zacian from going for the Imprison. And usually on these teams, the Zacian's slower because it takes advantage of the screens right here. So Light Screen's going to come out and Behemoth Blade. I do have a Focus Sash on my the Indeedee, so Indeedee is going to be able to survive this. And yeah, now I can go for a Dazzling Gleam right here. I should always just go for a Dazzling Gleam here. Yes, Dazzling Gleam is always the right play unless I'm mistaken for something. Geomancy going to come out from the Xerneas. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting about anything. Psychic Terrain's still up. They shouldn't be able to change the terrain. Grimmsnarl should go down to Dazzling Gleam, I think. But if it survives with Light Screen, then it gets a Spirit Break off. I don't need Xerneas at +2 to sweep here. But yeah, Follow Me is just super safe in Dazzling Gleam. If they switch out to Grimmsnarl, that's okay. Into Incineroar, that's completely okay. Because Dazzling Gleam should still do a good amount of damage to the Incineroar, and then I can Imprison. Maybe next turn I go for a Max Starfall into the Incineroar. It could be a play that I could make. We go for the Follow Me here. Interesting to see Incineroar. So it's Incineroar and Kyogre in the back. No Zapdos. Okay. So I wonder what the max is going to be. Probably Kyogre. Gleam does a good amount to the Incineroar. Going to be a Behemoth Blade into Indeedee. Okay, perfect. I should be faster. Does Dazzling... Okay, hold on. I'm based off Hyper Beam. Dazzling Gleam with Stab is 120, and then the Fairy boost is like 133, so it's like 1.3. I'm trying to figure out the numbers here because I don't know if I should just max Starfall or if I can just KO with Hyper Beam. Because if I can KO with Hyper Beam, it might be worth it here. It's also, I forgot take into account. No, I think Hyper Beam does KO here. Yeah, Hyper Beam does KO. So it's a safe max strike here into the Incineroar, I'm pretty sure. And I can imprison. And the reason I go for this is in case, I don't think it is going to be, but in case exhaustion is jolly, I can always just guarantee the safety of just imprisoning here. And max strike should KO the Incineroar. And yeah, I keep the psychic terrain to prevent the Grimmsnarl from doing any shenanigans later. I don't know if it's Thunder Wave, but it could be Scary Face. Just to make it for safety here. As let's see here. This is a really fun position. We are gonna Dynamax our Xerneas right here. And let's go for a max strike based off Hyper Beam. Gonna do a good amount of damage. And yeah, Dynamax the Xerneas on this team specifically. I hope that we KO the Incineroar, because if we don't, that's actually a problem. Hyper Beam gonna come out into the Incineroar. Oh no. I miscalculated, didn't I? I thought with spread damage with Dazzling Gleam we would have KO'd. That is pretty bad. That's pretty bad if they went for Sacred Sword Flare Blitz. Okay, they got the wrong berry with their Incineroar. Can we get bailed? Can we get bailed? Remember, kids. Remember, kids. Have the right berry on Incineroar. Holy cow. I don't get how that didn't KO. Because Dazzling Gleam spread. And then the multipliers, Hyper Beam should have done a little bit more damage than the Dazzling Gleam. Did I get like a super high roll in the Gleam last turn and a super low roll the next? I don't know. I'm just going to go for Behemoth Blade. They can't protect exhaustion. I get a free Behemoth Blade off. I get a free max strike off too. So yeah, goodbye Incineroar. I wonder what they went for, because they had to go for Flare Blitz specifically, and the instant had to be like offensive enough to at least KO my exhaustion. If they just went for Parting Shot, I don't think the position changes too much right there. So I think I still had enough tools to win. But yeah, that's something. That's something. I don't KO their exhaustion. Okay, I'm just missing knockouts. They go for Sacred Sword. Okay. The Sacred Sword into my exhaustion does a really good amount of damage, but yeah, not a knockout right here. Let's see. Kyogre going to come in. I go for Protect here and a max Starfall coming up, because I don't need the Psychic, or I don't need the terrain anymore, right? Because it's going to expire. Yeah, it's going to expire the next turn. I go for the Starfall here into the Kyogre, and I go for the Protect right here. And the reason I do this is because Kyogre shouldn't be able to knock me out, and the exhaustion's already range of Dazzling Gleam, so I don't have to target the I don't have to target that slot. I'm pretty sure Xerneas is going to win at this point. I think they've taken too much damage. Why does that Behemoth Blade really did nothing? That should be a really bulky exhaustion though, but I still can't believe that Incineroar lit the max strike at the range it was at. Starfall would have guaranteed the KO, but I'm just really worried about like what kind of last move the Grimmsnarl has. We know it had Light Screen, and usually on these teams it's just dual screens, Thunder Wave and usually Spirit Break, but I don't know if this one has Scary Face, and Scary Face is the one I'm a little bit scared about. Mainly because if my Xerneas takes a speed drop, I'm really concerned about dealing with their exhaustion if they did decide to preserve it. But yeah, Kyogre going to max here, which is not too surprising. It is their only Pokemon that can really max in this situation here. And I'll get some decent damage off at least with Starfall and protect my exhaustion right here. Let's see. It's going to be the Starfall going to come out into the Kyogre. Not bad damage, just considering it's Light Screen and Dynamax. That's pretty good. Ooh, dude, I think I switch out to exhaustion the next turn. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Geyser should be turning down my exhaustion, I imagine. Yep. Doesn't KO, perfect. And now I go for a Dazzling Gleam because Dynamax is over. Oh, they Sacred Sword to my Xerneas. Okay. Xerneas' Dynamax is over. The safest play here to prevent crit Geyser from knocking out my Xerneas is just a Dazzling Gleam here and go hard into my Torkoal, which should be super safe here. Yeah, I think we're safe because I want to keep my exhaustion. I want to keep my Xerneas around in case they crit the next Geyser my Xerneas here, and having Sun allows me to do that. Then I think I do win with like Yawn Spam, so I should be okay here. Do they protect? No protect, so exhaustion just goes down. Dazzling Gleam off into Kyogre, and then once Dynamax is over, I can start Behemoth Blading, which is going to do a good amount of damage, or I can play rough and probably finish off their Ogre at this point. Max Geyser is going to come out into my Xerneas. Yep, they're hoping for the crit. They don't get the crit, and yeah, this is pretty safe here. This is pretty safe because now Scary Face doesn't really matter because my Xerneas is max speed timid. I do outspeed their entire team. Although if they do have fake out, it's probably just better to protect anyway. So I'm just going to protect my... This is the last turn of their max, right? Yeah, they guys are twice. Did I just go for a protect? Protect. I was like, wait, where's my protect? Yeah, there's the protect. And I swap out into Zacian here. And then I just Dazzling Gleam and swap to Torkoal once I lose my Torkoal here. Unless they don't decide to KO the Torkoal, which would be really interesting. But either way, this is still good for me at the end of the day. Because that means they just have no damage outputs that can knock out Xerneas right here. We're going to see Protect come out. I wish I could Yawn the Kyogre, but Yawn doesn't accomplish anything, unfortunately. We're going to see Geyser come out. No Scary Face, no Thunder Waves. Well, you can't Thunder Wave in the terrain. Okay. Goodbye to my Zacian. All right. I don't want to go for the Play Rough win con, which is why I decided to sack the Zacian. I think I could have a safer win with Torkoal next to my Xerneas because Gleam looks really good. Grimmsnarl doesn't get access to Rain Dance, and with the Sun Up, I don't see Water Spout KOing either of my Pokemon unless it's Fake Tears Grim. But even if it's Fake Tears Grim, the Sun just prevents the Water Spout from doing really any damage right here. So let's go for our Dazzling Gleam here into their Grimmsnarl and a Body Press, I suppose. Or do we overheat? I guess we can overheat the Grimmsnarl, but I guess I just Body Press here because I don't expect a Grim to live this, but if it does, it'd be like by a sliver, right? Yeah, it does actually live by a sliver. Jeez. I crit the Kyogre, which is lucky, but I mean, they went for Origin Pulse into my Pokemon. Maybe a Spear Break crits, it matters. I think maybe double crits. Let's see. A Spear Break, this is Fairy Aura boosted, so this is actually going to hurt quite a bit. I'm actually surprised that Grim lived, though. Yeah, they would have had to crit anyway. Okay, they had to crit the Spear Break there and land Origin Pulse, but yeah. Body Press is going to KO the Grim, and we are able to seal it off right here. Ooh, I wonder what the instant went for. If it went for Parting Shot, we were fine. If they went for Flare Blitz, if Zacian lives the attack, I think I'm okay there. But that definitely was not something I really... I mean... Again, my calc on instant was super off, apparently. And I did get lucky with getting bailed out, but sometimes that just happens. Also, like... give it the right berry. Give it the right berry for the nature, but... Overall, super solid. I think Hyper Beam, Xerneas, it covered. We saw that the Zacian was super bulky. It let Behemoth Blade with like 75%. It didn't have Reflect Up, if I'm not mistaken. They got Light Screen up. That Xerneas plus the Entity, I went for Follow Me Geomancy. They went for Light Screen. Then turn 2, they swapped. So they didn't have Reflect Up. So that's a really bulky Zacian at that point. So yeah, I did expect it. Again, Starfall was probably all right there. I didn't want to risk the Grim if it changed it to Scary Face because Scary Face was a bit of an issue. So I guess the safer play was the Starfall though. But damage-wise, I really did think I would get the KO. It just didn't. This is one heck of a team. Calyx, Shadow Rider, Reggie, Alki, Dracovish, Whimsicott, Kyogre, and Entity. Can I beat Psy Spam? I mean, I had Psy Spam when Bingjie played against me, so I guess it's doable. I probably have to go Xerneas, Entity with Torkoal and the Zacian, I'd imagine. This is a tricky one. Maybe I don't bring Zacian here, but I am playing on Dynamax and the Xerneas anyway in this match. I will find out, I suppose. This is a tricky matchup right here. I mean very tricky, because I don't know what kind of set you are on the Calyrex. If you're Specs Calyrex, I am very terrified right here. I am very terrified of this team. Let's see if we can set up the Xerneas though. I think Geomancy is pretty solid here. If I can set up the Geomancy, KO the Whimsicott as early as possible, deny any other forms of speed control during the late game, and having my own Zacian can clean up. If they bring the Kyogre, I do have a Torkoal switch, which is really nice here. So I'm not really scared of the Dracovish Kyogre mode here. I'm only scared of the Calyrex Shadow Rider mode right now, because I think that's what I'm going to have to deal with. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're leading, because it's really strong against my team, especially like a Venusaur lead. Let's find out. What are you leading here? It's going to be the Calyrex Shadow Rider and Entity. Okay. Now, are they going for helping hand? Or are they going for follow me? This is where it gets a little bit tricky. I might have to Dynamax turn 1 potentially. I don't know if they have expanding force. I'm pretty sure that they do. I will go for mystical fire here and probably protect here, because I could see them going for helping hand, expanding force. If they don't know the team, it is probably my out here. I don't think they would follow me either, unless they know that it's mystical fire. If they don't know if it's mystical fire, then yeah, they should just go for helping hand here, which NDD will survive, and then mystical fire into the Calyrex. Okay, they did go for the helping hand. That's really good. Okay, so I am able to get mystical fire off into the Calyrex turn 1. Let's see, are you life over specs? Because that could change the difference from my Xerneas here. Here comes expanding force. Okay, cool. How much damage are you doing to my NDD? This is a very hurtful attack right here. Yeah, that is a lot of damage. You are probably specs. Yeah, you're not life orb, so that has to be specs. Okay, here comes a mystical fire into the Calyrex slot. Oh boy. Does that mean Xerneas just goes down? I think Xerneas just goes down. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad if that's the case. I have to Geomancy here, right? Is it my only out? I probably do. I just gotta hope that Xerneas lives the attacks right here. I mean, yeah, Geomancy here. Oh boy, this is tricky. I guess I have to go for a heal pulse. I mean, I think I'm just going down to expanding force twice here. If this is the case. Here comes helping hand right here. Maybe I should have let Zacian, because Zacian I could go for, well, then again, they might just follow me. They go for expanding force. Do I survive with the, okay, I do survive with the Xerneas. That's huge, but I don't even know if this is enough. I really don't know if this is enough, because even if I can KO the Calyrex, they might go for a Dynamax the Calyrex, and they Dynamax the Calyrex. That's really bad. We do Dynamax or Geomancy up with our Xerneas here, so we're at least the +2 speed. I'm also worried about what they have in the back too. No matter what, this position does not look pretty regardless of. Okay, maybe I had to sack Torkoal there and then bring out my, no, because I'm pretty sure the NDD is gonna live an attack from my thing. I'm gonna go hard Zacian, because I'm just trying to figure out, can I get a heal pulse off? Like Calyrex Shadow Rider plus NDD looks really tough, especially if it's specs Calyrex like this one is. All right, so we bring out the Zacian here. We're gonna go for a Dazzling Gleam, I guess. Behemoth Blade. I guess I can't protect the Calyrex, which is just a one positive note. So yeah, we're gonna go for the Behemoth Blade into a Dazzling Gleam here, and Follow Me comes out. Okay, if Gleam KOs the Calyrex at +2, then we have a shot. So here comes a Dazzling Gleam here. Hopefully knocks out the Calyrex. Nice. Okay, doable. They didn't Dynamax the Calyrex, thankfully. If they Dynamax the Calyrex, that would have been so bad. All right, go for the Behemoth Blade into the NDD. Ooh, thankfully we went for the Mystical Fire. They did not think about the Mystical Fire, or did not expect it. I am able to get the KO on both of their lead. Okay, I am up a Pokemon. However, my Dynamax option is probably not going to be ideal here. We're probably going to see Kyogre plus the Whimsicott here. Oh, Eliki. Wait, this is really good for me if it's Eliki. That's, unless it's Scarf Eliki, I should be fine here. Okay, I'm going for a Max Strike here into... Did I Max Strike the Kyogre and play with the Eliki? Because I have Fairy Aura Boost. I can also play with the Kyogre. I think actually the safest play should probably be to Max Strike the Eliki slot and go for the Play Rough into the Kyogre, because with Fairy Aura Boost, this is where it can actually come into play. With Fairy Aura Boost, I think I KO the Kyogre, especially if they're not bulky, and it shouldn't be bulky on a Hyper Offense team. And then with Xerneas, I can get a Max Strike off in the Eliki, lower the speed here. And as long as it's not like Max Scarf from the Eliki and Scarf Kyogre, I should be fine. And if this... I don't think they would make that play if that's the case. I think they would have to Dynamax the Eliki. Let's see. Don't be Scarf Eliki either, because Scarf Eliki screws me over here too. They do Dynamax. Okay, that's promising. That's a promising start regardless. Dynamax is coming out from the Kyogre, or... Okay, Eliki. Perfect, 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 perfect. Max Strike +2 might still knock out the Eliki here, and Play Rough should KO the Kyogre. So this is ideal. This is really ideal. Come on. Max Strike does come out into Eliki. Okay, please hit Zacian. We KO'd Eliki. Beautiful. We KO Eliki, which is amazing. All right. Eliki goes down. Zacian, please. Please. Okay. We connect. Player up into the Kyogre with the Fairy Aura Boost. It was the Kyogre. And yeah. Oh, geez. I did not. Wait, was it Specs on the Calyrex? I actually can't tell now. Because I feel like that was way too much damage to Entity, but then again, it's like Psychic Terrain plus Helping Hand multiplied, and I guess I'm not Psychic Seed, and I don't have special defense investment on the Entity, but I actually can't tell if that Specs Calyrex now. I mean, I guess it doesn't really change much because Dazzling Gleam was just doing way too much, thankfully. The Xerneas being able to survive, the Max Strike coming into play. I cannot believe that actually happened. I thought I was gonna I thought with the Choice Specs, it's just gonna go down, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm just gonna get overwhelmed all inside. But thankfully Xerneas was able to survive the attack. I don't know if that's choice specs or not. It might not be, but yeah. Then I was able to get a Zacian next to Xerneas, and then the Max Strike really coming into play with the Fairy Aura boosted player. Okay, with the Kyogre, that is absolutely insane. But yeah, did have enough firepower in the end, it looks like, and just being able to survive that move by Sliver and the last turn Dynamax, which was huge because being able to get the speed drop just in case the Scarf Kyogre was a huge blessing, and KOing Eliki with Max Hyper Beam was fun. Standard Sun. Okay, this is a matchup I actually don't know how you're supposed to play against it. I think it's Landorus in general though. Landorus is just really good against this team, especially with the Life Orb. I'd imagine I go with like Landorus plus Entity, unless they change the team and have some specific tech moves. I think Entity plus the Landorus is just generally safe. I'm pretty sure I guess it's Zacian and I go Venusaur again, right? Because Xerneas is just a hard time setting up against this team specifically. Torkoal is not that great here. I do think that this is the right call. Yeah, because I really like the Landorus lead. It just puts on a little pressure with the Follow Me, assuming that it's not Heat Wave on the Charizard. If they lead Zacian plus Charizard, it could be a little bit scary, I guess. I do think that this should be safe. I should be able to get a Rockfall or a Quake Off potentially. We're gonna see a Charizard plus Groudon. Okay, so they lead straight up to Sun mode right here. That is cool. I go for a Follow Me into their team, and I go for or I could Airstream here. Airstream isn't that bad, but I'd rather just go for a Rockfall. Well, I do lose my Sash and my Entity. I have a few plays I could go for. An Airstream into the Groudon doesn't seem bad here. Ooh, this is trickier than I thought actually, because they do have the Wildfire potential. They have an Airstream potential. They could switch out their Groudon and a Zacian here, which would be scary. Okay, what do I want to go for here? I think it's still Follow Me is the safest play, and then the question is, what am I doing with Landorus? I think it's either between, I don't want a Swords Dance if this is their lead. It's either Rockfall immediately, Quake, or Airstream. I could Quake if I expect the Groudon to switch out to Zacian. I could go for a Rockfall if I think Charizard's just going to go for the max move, and I think that's very likely. I could Airstream if I expect the Instant coming in for the Groudon slot, but let's just see here. No switches on their side. I get to find out also if a Rockfall with the Life Orb can knock out the Charizard through Charty Berry, which I guess is really good here. If they're Heat Wave, this is kind of annoying because I used up my max and I take a lot of damage from the Heat Wave. My Entity probably goes down this turn, and yeah, it's not exactly the easiest spot. However, still very manageable at the end of the day. We do see a max coming out from the Groudon, I think, here. Yeah, there should be Groudon. Oh, they just went for Heat Wave or Blast Burn potentially. Yeah, they do Dynamax to Groudon. Okay, it's a -1 Groudon, so it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, I suppose. Let's see. It's going to be a Follow Me come out from the Entity. If this is actually Heat Wave, this is really bad if that's the case. Did they change the team to have Heat Wave? They go for a Blast Burn. Okay, that's fair. They sack the Charizard thinking that Charizard's going to go down this turn because they can't live a move from the Landorus, which is fair. Okay, so Entity's going down this turn. That's not too bad of a trade-off. I still get rid of their Zard. However, dealing with their Zacian is going to be a lot harder now. We are going to be able to get a Rockfall KO into their Charizard, so Charizard does go down. I guess it's not too bad still, depending on what move they go for here with Groudon. Did they Steel Spike here? I wouldn't be surprised if it's Steel Spike, and if it's Steel Spike, yeah, then the Groudon can be annoying to deal with in the end game. Yeah. Good play turn 1. Recognizing that Charizard would go down here. And yeah, maybe I could have capitalized a bit more. Once I said before, I could have went for the Airstream and really have put on the pressure, I think, with Zacian next to Landers the following turn. But now it's a bit awkward. They're probably going to bring out their Zacian to revenge KO me, so I'm going to go out into my Zacian. If they go Incineroar, that's okay, I think, because... is it though? I think it's their Zacian. Yep, it's their Zacian coming in. Okay, cool. I go out into my Zacian. And I think they try to go for the Behemoth Blade into my Landers and Max Quake my Zacian. So I'm going to go for Behemoth. I think I'm going to go for the Imprison. Let us trade Zacians here, because Landers could win in this end game. I'm going to Imprison here, and I'm going to go for a Max Quake here. And let's see, because this could be scary. They could also switch out the Zacian into Incin as well, which is also another fair play. But I'm hoping they want to greed here and take the KO on Landers before it gets an Airstream boost potentially, because they might be scared of a +1 speed Landers because it can outspeed their Zacian, and that can Swords Dance. But nope, that they don't make that mistake. We are going to see the Instant, I think, come in. Yeah, good play on their part. Okay. I can still Airstream on the final turn, but this game still is very difficult. I guess I get the damage in Instant. Wait, this might not be too bad, actually, because I get the damage in Instant, which is still really good. I can get an Airstream next to my Venusaur, and then I can sleep out a Groudon the final turn. Yeah, maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. Here goes a Max Quake into the Incineroar slot. Just if Airstream KOs with sand damage, which I'm hoping it does. Let's see. And I need to hit a Sleep Powder and a Groudon, which is also another factor. Gonna see Max Quake come out. Yep, should KO Zacian, I think, because this is a frail Zacian. We did get Intimidated off, but I don't think that's enough. Yeah, okay, perfect. If we survived there, would have been interesting. I think then I would have went into Harden a Venusaur, and I would have Airstreamed the Incineroar slot, which would have potentially helped here. They can't fake us out because we do have Psychic Terrain available. Venusaur is the right call here, I'm pretty sure. And we click Sleep Powder into the Groudon and Airstream right here, and then dealing with their Zacian is going to be a nightmare. But yeah, we do kind of have to make that play. So let's go for the Sleep Powder here into their Groudon. And should I Sleep Powder Instant? Because if I Sleep Powder Instant, that gives me room to SD here. That might be the consideration here. And they might not knock out my Venusaur with a max move from the Groudon. So you know what? Sleep Powder the Instant and Airstream. Yeah, and my Venusaur is decently bulky, and the Groudon doesn't have stab moves to cover for it. So you know what? I do think that this is actually the safer play, or like the play that gives me a better odds of winning, because now I can set up a Sword Stance. If I can set up the Sword Stance here, huge for my Landorus. Because I think this is what I have to do in order to win the game. So we get an Airstream off. We don't want to KO the Instant. We need the Airstream boost though. We need to land this one. Okay, huge. That's the first one. Do we have to hit the second one? Probably. Might not be necessary, but we'll find out. Gonna be a Max Quake into my Venusaur. Okay, that's cool. Max Quake isn't gonna be able to pick up an... Never mind. Never mind. Oh, come on, game. give me that Oh. Okay. Incineroar takes 1 turn to sleep. It's manageable, but I think I take too much damage. It depends on what their Groudon fire move is. If it's Fire Punch, my Landers can tank. But if it's Heat Crash, like some of the Groudons have run, then yeah, this is not exactly a good position. I'm pretty sure that I can go for... I have the Swords Dance here, that's for sure. I don't have a choice. I need to be able to KO the Zacian. If I Earthquake here, it just depends on... A, does the Incineroar wake up, or B, do they hard switch into Zacian? If they hard switch to Zacian, I gotta hope that Life Orb Earthquake can knock out. But yeah, Swords Dance here. Come on. Stay asleep, Instant. Stay asleep. Fire Punch. Okay, that's better than Heat Crash. Does nothing. Nice. Okay. That's huge. That is huge. All right. Okay. I am +1 attack now. I feel like the safest play for them is to sack to Zacian. I want to Source Dance again. The reason I want to Source Dance again is because I think Incineroar should hard swap here. Because if I go for Earthquake, I think they just lose because the Fire Punch is doing no damage and then I KO their Zacian, right? So I think their hope is sack Zacian here to the Earthquake, get another Intim off with Instant, and then fake out. So I think I need more attack boosts. Nope, that's not how it worked. Okay, I need the Instant to stay asleep here. I thought I had enough logic, but it didn't work out. Fire Punch is going to come out into the Landers. Come on, they got the crit. Stay asleep. Okay. Did we lose here, though? We have +3 Lando. But the thing is, their instant's guaranteed to wake up on the next turn. Are they going to make the switch now? I feel like they're going to make the switch now. If they make the switch now, Source says it's to play again, because then I think I KO their Groudon. Am I gonna do it? I should. I really should, because I think it's the safer call. But you know what? Earthquake. No, I should SSD again. Oh man. If I crit the Groudon, I win. If I crit the Groudon, I win. Let's see. Here comes an Earthquake. Nope. Fire Punch. Fake out. Does it KO me? After Life Orb? Oh, the irony too of the bird. Oh, that is so unfortunate right there. I think I play. I guess I didn't play the end game as well as I would have liked, but I thought I had the idea. I guess they didn't want to risk it, but I thought like it made a lot of sense. Because if I Earthquake there immediately, I think they lose because I don't think they're doing nearly enough damage. But I'm getting a lot of powerful Earthquakes off into their Groudon. I don't think they have enough, so that's why I thought, okay, they sack Zacian here, but that is not how it worked out. I guess no, Instant's guaranteed to wake up here. Yeah. I should have committed. I should have just went for the Swords Dance. If I went for the Swords Dance again, I guess it also depends on the Groudon lives if it lives the Earthquake. Because I think if I Swords Dance again and they have the Zacian and Groudon out and the Instant in the back, then they switched into Instant. Well, they either have to hope that Groudon lives the first Earthquake, which is like +5 at that point with Life Orb. And if they don't live, then they are placed to go Instant and Fire Punch. And hope for like a crit or a burn like they did, or yeah, I should have SD'd again. I think I should have SD'd. I really thought that they were going to make the Zacian play a turn earlier, but I guess I was like a little bit two-step, or maybe they just weren't safe on that part. But yeah, that was something. I should have SD'd again. That's three turns in a row. I do think the Sleep Powder worked. I hit the Sleep Powder. If I didn't get crit, I also had chances to hit Sleep Powder on their Groudon while setting up SD, and it would have made better odds. But yeah, I do think it was winnable. I guess I did have to SD that last turn. I think I should have committed to, especially since I had the right sense of logic, I think, for the most part, where the instant switching to Zacian just makes a lot of sense. It just happened on the wrong turn, unfortunately. And that is the show. This was a really interesting and fun Xerneas team. I really do like the attacks on it. The Mystical Fire Entity set, oh boy, I knew that one before it. It definitely did come in clutch in today. The Princess Zacian was really cool. The Hyper Beam Xerneas really came into play. The Playra from Fairy Aura as an option is also really awesome. And yeah, Landorus Fairy is of course really good in the format right now with the Life Orb Sword stance, and the Entity Redirection is really good against a lot of Sun teams. But it was a really fun team to pilot. If you do want to check out Bingjie and the details of the team, make sure to check it out down below in the description and try out the rental code on your screen. You can also check out the rest of my Series 12 content where I use a lot of fun teams, a lot of cool Pokemon. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It does help me out. That's going to be it for me. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.